really good because you have short sideline. So that's the only thing you need to be able to do the awaken a lot of times. Yeah, short sideline, and if you also on the good angle, I think why not? Yeah, that's good enough. Okay, but then if you watch that later on, okay, is there a point of time where you could also use the awaken? Let's see. So you start doing this, and then there's
Oh,
just
I
normal
could
pressure. Yeah. So,
have done it right there. Yeah.
but why is it possible?
I'm not sure why it's possible.
Yeah, what do you think? You could have done it right there, but what's stopping? Well, let's think what can potentially make it easy for you to use the awaken. Let's say if you use awaken like right there when you're inside all the enemy team, right? Versus this here. What advantages you have at B? What kind of positional advantage you have at B compared
It,
to A?
it, B, I have natural cover. I have most likely my healers in the back.
Yeah, so I think that's about it. Yeah, I think it's good enough. To be honest, cover is one of the biggest. That's all you need. You just need to make sure that you have something what allows you to just hide yourself a little bit and then use that. And see, you could potentially maybe have those two bursts of value. So I have the single here, which allows me to use Awaken, and then later on you can go in, dash, and use Awaken one more time. Right, so it's just two Awaken missed, potentially, and that's why they kind of just able to walk a little bit more forward. You see that? It's just that uptime. Yeah, you want to try to put more pressure as much as possible. Whenever you see there's an opportunity, yeah, because Awaken, you're pretty weak. Yeah, but usually if you're able to have some sort of cover, that's gonna be alright. Yeah, okay, cover. It's in one thing. And you just so maybe also can fight isolated targets. Yeah, let's just put it this way: Awaken, we can use on isolated whenever. You can maybe also see the other videos as well, just the way they use the cover, the way they just attack isolated target. But yeah, you can isolate the enemies who using cover. So for example here, if I have this, I can always choose my battle. I don't have to be exposed to all of this here. I can always peek from the left. I can always maybe go right, and I'm only exposed to one threat at a time. Okay, or you can just fight in 1v1. Yeah, maybe there's, like you mentioned, somebody's in the back. You could potentially do that too. Yeah, 1v1, we can take that whenever, but you gotta be going for the Awaken as much as possible. So, for example, here, let's see. Maybe there's some good examples we could watch. I'm not sure if I saved some of my previous games, but yeah, it's maybe you can watch Sure for example. Let me see. Maybe some of their was good examples we used before. Okay, let's take a look. So this is Kochi materials, examples, smart rivals, and Thor. Yeah, that's what we need. Maybe there's some good POV. They're always really good at just trying to use the cover to make sure you stay alive. Yeah, you don't have to always kind of make sure you don't have to always position yourself kind of in the middle when you're using your Awaken, right? Because that's gonna be really risky. So that's what we want to take a look at. Okay, let's see. For example, this guy really good at using corners a lot of times, and they just have this consistent output. I think you watch this video, but again, just to emphasize the concept, you can always see how frequently they're using the Awaken. So there was one time after they done the setup, typically, yeah, you use your Awaken. Okay, that's just gonna be before the fight, and in the fight you can use Awaken when there's isolated person, isolate to cover or isolate to 1v1. Okay, and in here maybe you don't have time before the fight to just do that poke Awaken like we had, but what they're gonna be doing is they will try to set up. Well, first off, it's just gonna be this 90 angle in a way, and then see like why are we able to use the Awaken here, because there's opportunity for us to use the cover which is to the left, and maybe that stairs even, so we can always be sustained. Yeah, there's just not too many things to expose to. Let's put it this way. Yeah, of course, they're kind of a little bit exposed to maybe 2 people, but this is not as risky. Yeah, if you can manage that, yeah, that's why they're kind of gonna be moving towards the cover right away because they want to isolate. Yeah, they want to make sure there's constant 1v1. Yeah, I'm creating 1v1 opportunity, and later maybe they can find an option again to do something from their angle with Awaken because this is the highest damage output for you usually, yeah, if you're able to do something. So you can definitely use the dash, you can definitely try to engage with that. Let's see, like now, for example, they use Awaken. Why? Yeah, how? They gonna be using this cover here, which isolates the target. Yeah, but your engagement first was just felt like, well, we in, yes, dash is good, but there's just no big pressure after, which is possible. Okay, does make sense, this idea here.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm just gonna write down. So again, before the fight, you can do the setup, use Awaken after. And in the fight is just Awaken for isolated people. That's all. That's allows you to do more pressure. Now it's just kind of swinging and there's not as big damage output, basically. Like,
Yeah.
for example, here, you going in and using your this thing and well, I guess it's semaphore, so you want to be careful with using your Awaken there. Yeah, but maybe just even creating some sort of distance and using it like right here, like how you can be positioned, so you're able to pop the Awaken and isolate the enemy. What do you think?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, but how? What do you think? What your position should be right now exactly?
Right now, my position, I'm at a 90 angle.
Yeah.
I could have. I should have dived left. I should have gone left.
But do you
Or I
need
could.
to go anywhere from here?
No, no, I don't need to go anywhere. I could do awakening from there.
Yeah, for example, here. Oh, it's relatively fine. You might maybe need to move towards this if you wanna even shorter angle. I'd say like this is exactly what we're looking for. Isolate the enemy, and you're good to use the Awaken, to be honest. And you will see it's even more helping when you're trying to shoot the corners because the enemies they will try to fall back to the corner, and that way it makes it easily mechanical for you to just use the Awaken right away. Yeah. Okay, does it make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
No, so see, you're really good with the setup, right? I'm just thinking it's the quality of the engagement after. Let's put it this way. Yeah, it's just how you're able to put more pressure. We did talk a lot about the setup. I think it's decent. And this potentially can also work. See, like this, but this type of thing, because you can also look for that. Yeah, it's just for the moments when you realize, oh, Awaken cannot be used. Yeah, maybe I just want to isolate something. Dash is fine, but now you already got some isolated people. Yeah, so, well, how you can use cover first, yeah? So you maybe don't have to do that anymore. It's just those tricky moments, yeah? Because sometimes, yeah, like this play can work, and there's really good displacement. Yeah, we mentioned, oh, I can push the target in, but if there's already isolation opportunity, then take it. It's like that entire time we kind of used Awaken 0 times, right? Which is just really, really low pressure. Now using Awaken before the fight, that's good. This type of Awaken where you're just kind of poking, and now you need to look for the value, maybe isolated people. Yeah, maybe isolate Sue using the dash, or yeah, I don't know, something else. It's still a bit unfortunate here, you want to be more careful. Maybe, I'm not sure, just try to usually walk all the way around, or maybe you can even try to sneak in here, but yeah, that's alright, Yeah, let's see what's gonna happen after. Do you have any questions so far, by the way?
I didn't realize I wasn't using waking force very often. That's something good you pointed out. I didn't even realize it.
Because this is the tricky thing. A lot of people, and I even saw that with the best players too, they just apply pressure with the Awaken, but they never set up, which is also doing good. That's why you actually need to be able to do both setup and actually do the Awaken too. It's just two tricky things. By the way, there's a new update coming, and the Thor got a rework, which is really good. I don't know why some people saying it's gonna kill Thor. So Thor is gonna be really, really good. If you also know this playstyle now with the angles, it's gonna be much better for you, especially because you're not gonna have as much sustain, but your damage output is gonna be much higher if you so. There's gonna be a potential for him to, when you sow your hammer, you get your Thor force back instantly instead of like hitting your melee. Yeah, because if you sow the hammer now and you hit the melee, you get this one Thor force. But now it only requires you to just kind of hit the target to get it back. So this is gonna be higher damage output. You can basically get the Thor force back with hammer, and then you also have the bubble, so you have those 3 awakens in a way. First awaken, yeah, so hammer, and there's second awaken, then there's gonna be third one, which is gonna be your bubble, kind of, eventually. So it's gonna be really good with that playstyle too.
Yeah, I was gonna bring that up at the end of the session about the new Thor rework.
Yeah, exactly. Like this is really good. Some people, yeah, they maybe don't understand it, but yeah, the Thor is not frontline tank. It's never been, and a lot of people they don't understand that. They say, "Oh, this is more brawl tank," but it's a dive brawl hybrid. That dive is the first trait of the Thor. You need to go in the backline, and you need to just be able to use the mobility. You got so much mobility. It's kind of similar to Doomfist in Overwatch. A lot of people would just treat him as a brawl tank, but he's not. He's dive tank. So yeah. For example, here, let's see. Are there any opportunities for us to use the Awaken? Let's see. What do you think?
Yeah, right here.
Right here, I think is fine. Again, we're gonna be Awakened before the fight. It's just gonna be set up, use Awaken. Yeah, this is gonna be good enough, I think. And then later on, maybe you can just do something else, just try to engage. That's alright. Like here, Soro is also fine because you can isolate the targets through this cover. There's only one person, well, actually 2 people. But yeah, this is more forgiving anyway, based on the ultimate too, so it's fine. Like, just so much easier for you to use that now. Later on, when the ultimate runs out, you can just do something else from the angle. You will decide to use the ultimate, it's fine. Go in the angle, good. Okay, we position in the angle again, now you can decide what to do next. From here, your team is dead, so you have to reset. Yes, that's okay. You're paying attention to tempo too, so this is a great thing. I'm not sure you have to fall back to main though. What do you think? Could you just go anywhere else here at this point? Could you just maintain the 90 angle in a way?
Yeah, that was one of the things I wrote on my notes, that instead of me retaining the angle, I went back to my team because I had a friend playing with. Her name is Kato's 420. She's a healer. She's the cloak and dagger in our team.
Yeah.
That's why I made that decision, and I was like, I don't know why I moved from there. That's what I wrote down in my notes when I was.
Yeah, exactly. I'm definitely thinking. Imagine you here right now, and you just trying to fight this angle here. You might even kill this person right there. Who knows? You can just isolate them so much. You see it, like the way they push right now. Especially if they just try to extend their pressure a little bit, you can just drop them in and push them towards your team, and that creates a kill instead of you trying to help out somebody there. Yeah, you obviously need to help, but you need to help through your own pressure first, I think. So yeah, it's just really good to pay attention to. And then from here, it's so tricky. Yeah, you cannot do anything. You just not able to use abilities, getting poked out, and you die to just random damage. And guess what? Your support is probably also dead too. But it's another one. It's your Rocket Raccoon, which has been on the angle with you before. Okay. Yeah, for example, even here, yeah, exactly. Like, you can use your wake and just fall back a little. Just more frequent at all times. This is good. You're fine with general pressure. You have to touch, so that's fine. I like the way you go on the angle. You try to retouch as well. This is good stuff. Okay, let's see what we got on the next map. Probably gonna be the same problem overall. Yeah, let's check. So it starts with a good setup. That's decent. Now, you see this? The same stuff, right? Just use your awaken there, yeah? You see that?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
it's
see
just
that a lot now.
before the fight, and how you move. Like, to be able to effectively use Awaken, where should you go right now?
I should probably go a little bit more back, awakening back.
Well, back to where? Let's
Like
see. Oh, sorry.
you see how I'm facing?
Yeah?
Kind of go back because there's cover.
Yeah, like
Like
here?
right there.
Yeah, maybe?
Yeah.
Well, who you fighting? You're fighting Storm too, right? So,
Or I could go to the left.
yeah. This is also
Right there,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's good enough, to be honest. But yeah, this is okay. It's a little bit tricky angle sometimes because yeah, but usually this one is good because you can also try to go to the short range pressure from here. So this looks decent. Just use something at the start. Okay, you're not really doing much, I think, with this poke awaken, but you might be able to get a kill, at least to scare off the storm or something. And then later you can think about doing something. Like, see, they even pushing you and you're just kind of waiting to use the awaken, right? I think they would die, to be honest, if you would have used that. Their movement is really slow, to be honest with you. I think it's one of the good targets to practice on. We remember we talked about the mechanics on Awaken, where you just aim a little bit to the left and then a little bit to the right. You can also do the same versus the Storm. It's just gonna be 2 dimensions. They're not too, well, not only horizontal dimension where they're moving. You can also apply this here. Say they're trying to dodge your shots by moving down and up. Okay, so you do the same. One shot a little bit up, one shot a little bit down. And also look how they gonna be strafing left to right. So you can, maybe one shot can be here, a second shot can be there, for example, yeah? Third shot here, another here. You just kind of swap a little bit the placement. So it makes it easy as well to hit some of those if they try to actively dodge. But yeah, this is usually really killable. If they try and isolate themselves, just let them just take the duel. Remember, Awaken is your sustain tool too. You get, how many? 200 shields for that, right? So, it's a lot. Yeah, ultimate's fine, yeah. And now this is the time where we set up again. Yes, you can take an angle, but we would like you to see the opportunities for Awaken. Yeah, this is good. Okay, this is good stuff. You see, you're not able to use Awaken, yeah, because your force is not back. So maybe we can boop somebody, and well, that's fine too. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Trap them in. Yeah, almost killed them, to be honest. Yeah, exactly. See here, this is gonna be this cover we're using or this cover we're using. This is possible, I think. And you also sustain yourself a little bit. Why not? You just getting damage done. Maybe not getting too many kills there because they have a lot of sustain. But yeah, first off, setup. Okay, from here, you can maybe isolate, look for Awaken. And opportunities to use Awaken, so it's fine to go for the pressure now. Okay. For example, here, you see this? Let's go back. Do you have opportunity to use Awaken and isolate the enemy? The way we talked about. Yeah. How?
Yes, we do. We have the cloak and dagger.
Mhm.
And we could have used awakening. I could have used the angle over here by the left. Yeah.
Yeah, so just go towards the left cover, I think. It's good enough. You can shoot her. Maybe you can shoot the storm as well. But yeah, I think this is alright. You just maintain this. You don't have to do anything. You already have isolated people. If you want, really, you can open up this way too. But just higher damage. At least your farm will charge. Because there's a Lunar Snow ultimate. You maybe not gonna be doing a lot with the kills, but you kind of farm move charge. You engage. You can also use the bubble later and use your awaken one more time. Not trying to dodge Scarlet Witch. That's fine. No, but this is what it feels like. Uptime, uptime. All of those times. It's just so finding ways for us to be doing more with the Awaken. Ultimate is okay. Sorry, of course we can nitpick on that too, but I think that's been okay for the most part. For example, here, you see, you kind of can isolate something. Well, maybe not really set up the best way, but as a kind of isolated opportunity. Well, you maybe could, I think. Yeah, maybe it's okay. Because you already tried to engage and just now resustain, you have that downtime. You can even use a weekend there. But then again, set up, look for options, what to do. Yeah, you can try to either isolate somebody is using the dash if there's no one isolated, or if you have cover, they can also do that. You will notice typically your second awaken is going to be when you're really close range, though. If you're really close to somebody, yeah, this is something we will have to deal with. Yeah, we'll make sure you get close to the target. But other than that, it's alright. Okay, I'm thinking, do you have any questions maybe about anything so far?
No, I think it makes sense. Like, I didn't realize I wasn't using a lot of Awakening Force. I think my mental process was like if I use Awakening Force, it's easier for me to die. But using cover, using the angles and natural cover, I think that kind of compensates for that.
Yeah, exactly. And even on the open maps, you have to just find out what are you doing, because yeah, it feels like maybe I will get poked out or something. But yeah, I don't know. I think this is gonna be one of my games. Not sure what is that, but it's just can maybe see that's always more frequent. A more frequent use of Awaken. Let me see. It was. I didn't. I think it just should be like probably weeks ago, because this when the last time I played. I didn't play since then. It's around GM2, GM3. But yeah, now the ranks got up, so yeah, it's just gonna be easy to move up. Even I'm not sure the win rate. Let me see. It says some 70% win rate, so I should be climbing. But yeah, I don't play. It's alright. We yeah. So a lot of it is really just when we trying to set up. So first, yeah, again, do the pressure before the fight. After that, we can just try to find the moments to just isolate somebody and use Awaken. I shouldn't be giving up that position, I think. It was by accident, but yeah, anyway. Now searching for options what to do. Who I can isolate. So see, this is the second stage. Using cover to isolate somebody. Yeah, maybe that Hawkeye there is really low. I isolate them. Okay, this guy also is gonna be really low, maybe potentially killable. Now, again, searching for options. It's just also, obviously, who do you attack? I messed it up, by the way, should have been up there, but yeah, again, just messed it up, yeah. But you're always looking for engage opportunity later, yeah, and then maybe we can pop the Awaken again, because this is one of the highest damage tools for us, right? It's just getting close to something, while staying in the angle too, if possible, of course. Okay, recognizing we're low, so we have to give it up, yeah. But then, when the real fight happens, again, just getting really close usually and trying to use that, I think went a little bit too far, but yeah, the thought process is the same. You will see that constantly, just before the fight, again, just see that, the replay broke, maybe, let's see. Yeah, it's good, okay. So, time before the fight, using that, and then later, I think probably somewhere around here. Yeah, exactly. It's just the poke, yeah? You maybe not necessarily also have the best position before the fight, but if you recognize, okay, I'm just doing the poke opportunity, and there's also ultimate too, so you can do that. But then later you set up and try to find the option to use Awaken. If there's no option, then you can engage with regular abilities. Okay, yeah, let's maybe see the regular abilities. What do we do here? So it's trying to set up first, yeah, going on the angle, and see, isolating. What are we using? This cover here, so we can always choose what we pick. Yeah, we're not exposed to everything. My team is here, that they can push with the rest, with the rest of that space, and that's alright. Yeah, those guys, some of them are stacked up in main, like that's Rocket Raccoon, that's really bad, so we can just deny that as well. And just keep the angle option.